Welcome to House of Chris. My name is Chris Suling, and I am doing this video for the beginners who are just really stepping into their spiritual gifts and don't really know where to start. Part of the reason why I started doing spiritual development in the first place was because that was my experience. Like, I didn't know where to start and what information to trust, and it was just a very confusing and chaotic time for me. So today is just a couple of tangible tools in the form of books that you can read and use to build, on your journey. And I'm going to touch on a few different areas. And the first one is on this first book, The Capuline. The Three Initiates. Don't shoot me. I don't know if that's the way it's pronounced, but I don't know. Can you see that good? Okay. Yeah. This book is going to help you build a lot of foundational tools, just day-to-day mundane tasks and ways of processing, because what people usually don't tell you when you first start on your spiritual journey, when your gifts are awakening, it requires a lot of shadow work, and the information that you get from this book are gonna really help you work through that shadow work and make it just a little bit easier for you, especially if you really apply the knowledge that you gain from this book. So this is one of my favorites to recommend my newbies. If you have started recently just becoming interested in crystals, I absolutely recommend The Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. Okay, this book gives you pictures, it gives you attributes, healing, positions, any and everything that you could probably think about that you want to know about your crystal, you can find it in here. Okay, this is also a good one to use when you want to do crystal healing. Okay, so keep that in mind, or doing grids. I can say I have come across some crystals that I did not find in this book, and I had to research. So again, I always encourage everybody to do their own research and compare the information to take what resonates with you. Okay, so if you read something and it don't feel right, it's probably not right for you, and that's okay. Just accept that and move forward. Like, don't get too caught up on what any one particular source says, like, is supposed to be a certain way, because your walk is your walk alone. And trusting in yourself, trusting in your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, however it is that you walk, whatever it is that you do, a big part of that is going to be trusting yourself. Okay? Back to the crystals for beginners. Okay, this one talks about your chakras, how to use them. This focuses more like on grid healing. This one will tell you about placements, like which side of your body that you can use it on. Beautiful colors. I use this a lot when I first started doing crystal jewelry. I have leaned away from crystals because I have a different kind of understanding of crystals, and to me, I don't really need them anymore, but I do like them. As you can see, I keep them. I use them to cleanse my cards and reset, which I might get into in another video. This book, I recommend Crystals for Healing, because let's get to the index. This one is going to run you through the basics of healing, teaching you how to like spot the differences in between like glass or plastic and actual crystals. This teaches you how to cleanse them, and this will give you very specific remedies. So if you have abandonment issues, they have a specific page where it talks about the crystals and how you can use them in the way that you can wear them. Like, very comprehensive guide. I think it's an amazing book, and this is by Karen Frazier. So for crystals, just for a recap, we got the Crystal Bible. A lot of information here. Crystal for Beginners, by Karen Frazier. Crystals for Healing, the complete reference guide. And again, that one is by Karen Frazier as well. The next book that I want to get into is The Subtle Body, an encyclopedia of your energetic anatomy. If you are just really becoming aware of energy and like how it affects you and where it stores itself in the body, like somatic healing, that sort of thing, this is an excellent beginner's place for it. A lot of different information concerning energy, gives you a lot of research, lots of diagrams. This is a excellent guide, and it gives you other cultural views and research. All right, so I know you're there. Those of you who have identified in one particular clair or another, for those of you who may be clairvoyant, so you get images, or clairaudient and you get clear hearing, or even claircognizance, which is clear knowing, which is one that a lot of people really ignore. This is for you. Starting off in your journey, or I say starting off in my journey, I was really worried about negative energy, negative spirits, or demons. But I had to get past that fear, and I was introduced to this book by someone who at the time was a really good friend of mine. She recommended this book, and this has gotten me through a lot of very interesting times during my spiritual walk. The Prayers Prayers That Root Out Demons and Break Curses by John Eckhart. So I like this book because if you go to the table of contents, it breaks it down by a couple of different type of prayers that you may need. And they have the verses laid out, and it's not like you just reading it straight from the Bible, like it's from different places. But if you read it, it's a full prayer. Very engaging, very good for like cleansing and protection, and especially if you are able to communicate directly with spirits, see them, feel them, talk to them. This is going to be an amazing book for you. I think that it should be talked about a lot more, that when you start on this spiritual path, like it's not always bugs and rainbows. Sometimes you come into contact with negative energies and entities that seek to leech and pull life force and energy from you. I mean, and that's what they do. But a part of being able to combat that is really releasing your fear of doing so. This is an excellent book for that. The next book that I want to talk about is The Power of, or The Magical Power of the Saints. And this is about candle rituals, invoking angels. I like this book in particular for newbies because it gives you a lot of information on the archangels. And something that I wish I was told early on is you can, anybody can call on the archangels. They don't belong to a particular walk. It's good to know how to engage with them, how to properly honor them, and how to work with them if you ever need to. This one teaches you about candles and reading flames and being able to read your candles. It gives you Bible verses. This gives you different spells that just are like universal spells that can be used by anybody. Teaches you how to write petitions. So this is an excellent book if you are even trying to start into any spell work. This is a good guide. The next book that I want to talk about is the 3 Magical Books of Solomon and the Lesser Keys in one volume. This book is fascinating, to say the least. Okay? I didn't realize how many demonic seals or invocations were present in like our everyday life until after reading this book. This book will teach you about like the different demons and the legions and what they're responsible for in their regions. Like, it is extremely intricate how the spiritual world and hierarchy is set up. And I think it's extremely important to understand that when you are doing magic work or engaging in communication with the spirit world, you need to know how to protect yourself, because while their power is limited, they are much smarter than us a lot of times. So you have to be careful. You got to walk light. And that's not to fearmonger, but I want people to be aware and go out being able to protect themselves and their energies. And with that said, I want to move into books for the people who want to read cards. So, I am an intuitive reader. The cards, I use the cards for the images. The images give me like certain storylines. The images speak to me more so than the actual card itself. So I'm not a traditional reader. However, when I wanted to start reading like traditional spreads, I love this tarot book, Connect with Yourself, Develop Your Intuition, and Live Mindfully by Tina Gong. I think this was a really dope book because, first of all, I found it at Five and Below. Ow. But this book gives you very simplified, easy to remember terms, scenarios, and it walks you in a very systematic approach that's easy for you to grasp. I have not had the patience to actually sit down and go through the whole thing because I like to skip ahead, but don't be like me. Like, take your time and learn it so that you can give the most accurate readings, especially if you want to start reading for other people. Okay. And another book that I highly recommend if you are starting off on your reading journey is this Advanced Tarot Secrets by Dusty White. And this book also teaches you like how to read the cards next to each other. This book will give you like exercises throughout, practice sessions, games, self-reflections, different spreads. It gives you real life examples. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to shake you up. This book gives you a lot of different ways to really, really grow your abilities as a reader. So, yeah, this is my recommendation for tarot. Okay. And for the last little stretch of my review, I want to get into books for people who want to do candle work and who want to do herbal healing and work with different deities and spirits. So after you have learned how to protect yourself, practice mindfulness, cleansing and protection work, moving into some of the other more physical portions of magic, because magic is in the mind. Santeria, the Santeria books, formulas and spell books. This book is going to be extremely good for people who want to make their own oils, who want to make incense, who want to make floor washes, candles. You want to get into homemaking your own things so that you can save money and even just make sure you know what's going into the products that you're using for your different spell work. This is a highly recommended book. And this book is by Carlos Montenegro. And this is the Santeria Formularity and Spell Book, A Guide to Nature's Magic. The next book that I'm going to talk about is the Encyclopedia of Magical Herb by Scott Cunningham. I recommend this book to people who want to work with herbs, whether you are making teas, tinctures, oils, soaps, lotions, any of those kind of things. You want to use natural herbs to invoke certain energies or bring certain, it's a lot to it, baby. This is one to get into. So the example that came to me last night when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk to you guys about was a lot of the spiritual girlies, they get in and they want to draw a love, or they want to draw men and money, and so their first go-to is, oh, let me have angelica root. I want angelica root. Okay, but here's the thing about that. What I love about this book is it gives you the gender of the plant that you want to use, the plant, the planet, the element, the deity, the powers that it has, and the magical uses. And if you take your time and study the herbs that you want to use, you may find that what it is that you are looking for may be more of a jasmine energy, feminine, moon, planet, element of water. You are able to use this book to really best decipher what to use for what. This book is really amazing with like identifying literally everything concerning the plants that are listed in here. So I use this book on a very, very consistent basis, especially when I'm wanting to do work specifically for people who I'm working with. The next book I want to get into is the Encyclopedia of Spirits, the ultimate guide to the magic of fairies, genies, demons, ghosts, gods, and goddesses by Judika Isles. Really, it's exactly that. It's an encyclopedia. This book is going to tell you everything about why spirits help us, how to work with spirits, what to look for, to know whether or not you have been granted permission. When you get into awakening your herbs or doing different rituals, if that's what it is that you want to do, this book is going to talk about information that you need to know concerning whether or not spirits are dangerous. This book tells you how they are dangerous or why, and the kind of things that they are prone to do according to legend, according to research. Excellent book for like anything. And I think they did an amazing job of not being biased to particular cultures. Like, you can find like a magic energy or entity, gods, goddesses from any and every single culture like known to man in this book. So high praises to this book. So that is what I have for this segment. Please be on the lookout for a shielding video, which will be up soon. You can always check out in spiritual development folder. And that's what I got for y'all today. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Love you. Talk to you later.